Capitalism is canceling women. Yep, if you're a woman, sorry, you don't count. Walmart's new shoplifter policy is fantastic. We'll tell you about that. And goodbye, Dick. Seriously, good riddance. I don't want to celebrate anybody's death, but in this case, that's it. Just goodbye. Good riddance. Welcome to the Jay Sheldon Show. Happy Tuesday? Oh, yeah. Wednesday. I lost a day. It's Wednesday hump day. Hope you're having a good morning, and welcome in across the United States of America and a little bit of the rest of the world. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Hopefully we're not too laggy. I know we've had some laggy problems lately, but we're working on it every day. I think things are looking pretty good at the moment. We'll see what happens. We are live right now, live on Rumble and on X. You'll find us on both platforms, and you will also find us on our YouTube channel. Just search out on YouTube, The Jay Sheldon Show. We're not live there. We will never be live there. We hate YouTube with a passion, but we're growing slowly with subscribers, so if you go over, be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you do see this same show, which is posted sometimes within an hour of it being live and sometimes the next day, but it gets up there eventually. And of course, also, you may be listening to us on our podcast. We are a podcast. You hear the audio portion of our show. You may be listening to it right now on all the major podcast platforms and some of the minor podcast platforms. You'll find us out there. Just search The Jay Sheldon Show. Give us a subscribe. Danny, good morning. Great to have you along for the ride. Nice to have you here. And yeah, we're going to, you know what? Now I know why I thought it was Tuesday, because I forgot to update my little cheat sheet. Over here on this monitor, I got 3 monitors, our main show monitor, our data monitor, and our information monitor with all our links. And I have my little cheat sheet. I wish I could actually show it to you, but I can't. And I put in the day of the week, because sometimes, you know, I'm old, I forget these things. And then a big word that says record, so I remember not only to live stream, but to also record the program at the same time, so I can stick it up on YouTube. Do you care about this crap? I don't know, I'm just rambling. And also then I've got a little teaser for some of the things, usually about 3 items, that we're going to talk about on today's show. So that's what's on my cheat sheet, and I forgot to change Tuesday to Wednesday. Now it's been changed a little too late, Jay. Oh, man. By the way, I still hate the time change, okay? I just want to let you know, I still hate the time change. All right. I am not going to spend a lot of time talking about this absolute worthless, murdering criminal, just to acknowledge the fact that he's dead. Dick Cheney, former vice president, and the man partly responsible, in my opinion, for the death of 3,000 American citizens on September 11th, 2001. Dick Cheney, gone. I'm not going to talk about him. I want to give him absolutely no piece of any kind of acknowledgement that he ever even existed. I'm just very happy that he's gone. He was a criminal and he was a murderer, okay? And yes, you can't libel the dead. So there, I said it. If you're a fan, sorry, you've been bamboozled. Him, Bush, and Rumsfeld, all 3 of them responsible for those deaths. I am going to do my 9/11 show one of these days soon. It's just a whole bunch of videos. That's all it is, but trust me, these videos will convince you about what I'm saying. It may wind up being 2 or 3 hours long. I don't know, I don't care. You need to know the information. And it's not conspiracy theories, it's conspiracies, okay? So, all right, goodbye, Dick. The other one is goodbye, New York City. You're done. You finished. You idiots, frankly, not that it came as absolutely any surprise at all, but New York City has fallen to communism. Ma'am Danny is now the mayor of New York. So, Florida, You might want to consider building a wall. It's working on our southern border. Surprising absolutely nobody, New York City voters chose to elect Zohran Mamdani, an unabashed, soft-on-crime Democrat socialist, to serve as the Big Apple's next mayor. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo, not a really compelling second choice. Embarrassing but inevitable defeat. Unbelievable, you morons. Votes still being counted, but it's no doubt the outcome. Zohran is your new mayor. Enjoy it. The AOC Bernie Sanders-backed commie going to replace the city's current mayor, Eric Adams. He ran as an independent, but did all nothing. Curtis Sliwa just didn't have it. He should have. He's a great man. Marilyn, hello. He's a great man, but there's no way that was going to happen. Democrats elect a guy who wants to murder his political opponents as Attorney General in Virginia. How about that one? Yep. Poised to elect the anti-Semitic pro-Hamas mayoral candidate in New York. That's already been done. And yes, they elected Jay Jones, or whatever the hell his name is. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And you know, these numbers are way far apart. Mamdani, 1,038,051 votes. Cuomo, 854,995,000. Not even close. All right, and again, that news is all over the net. Not going to spend a whole lot of time harping on it because you can see it anywhere. Just so you know, it's there. We covered it, and now we're moving on to the good stuff. Like Gold's Gym. It's just like I said in the headline, Gold's Gym has canceled women for standing up to a naked man in their locker room. It seems like 2 weeks ago, well, because it was 2 weeks ago, that we warned you that you think the trans crisis is over. It ain't. Here we are today with yet another real woman, an actual biological woman, getting pushed aside for a man with delusions of grandeur. We got videos, that is a plural, videos, of the whole disgusting affair at Gold's Gym, which should be ashamed of themselves. The unnamed woman, obviously furious, after a man, barely pretending to be a woman, invaded the woman's locker room while she was fully undressed. The heroine confronted the man and admittedly caused a bit of a scene in the lobby. But hear me out. That's exactly what's supposed to happen when a man waves his penis around in the woman's locker room. You should make a scene in the lobby. Here's what happened. Instead of showing a penis-waving predator the door with all the necessary force, get out and stay out, Gold's Gym kicked out the woman and canceled her membership. Cancel culture isn't real, they said. It's all in your mind, they said. Now, there's some language coming up, so if you're easily offended, maybe you want to skip these clips, but if you are entertained by some absolute righteous anger, colorfully expressed, you really can't hit the play button soon enough. So let me do exactly that. Where are we? Okay, take a look.
Gold gym! Men! Grown men with big dicks in the women's locker room. And that's why I'm getting kicked out. And I want to make sure the girls know. The fuck? Everybody saw that man in the fucking locker room. No one's saying shit. And I'm fucking done with it. It's fucking stupid. It's dangerous. Me naked in front of a man without my permission. I'm the one who gets kicked out the gym, y'all. I'm terminated for not wanting men in the locker room.
Wow. She is not happy. Grown men with a big fill in the blank in the locker room seems to be something they should put outside the Gold's Gym sign, huh? Just to give the ladies a little hint of what's waiting for them in the locker room when they get undressed. The thing is, it appears only one woman had the you-know-whats to speak up and complain, defending women's space at Gold's Gym. Were the others all okay with that? All of them? Or were they cowed into submission by the patriarchy, progressive, woke culture at Gold's Gym? The patriarchy is here to defend your privacy, ladies. Once this anonymous heroine got into her car, had a chance to calm down, she recorded her thoughts on the situation. Give a listen.
I just had the worst experience ever at the gym, at Gold's Gym, and I think this is probably happening at gyms across America, where like trans women are going into the women's locker room and not really caring about how women feel about it. And it's really hurtful, yo. Like, how you gonna say you want to be a woman or that you are a woman, but you don't give a fuck how women feel? Today I was naked in the locker room. I turn around and there's a man there in boy clothes, lip gloss, standing there looking at me. I'm butt naked. So the first thing I think is maybe there's a worker in here. Maybe I missed the sign. I say the word sir to say, sir, what are you doing in here? He goes, don't fucking talk to me. I'm a woman. I have a right to be in here. Immediately, I'm fucking pissed because I'm butt naked. I feel violated. I feel like weird. Like, I don't want to deal with this, right? So the girls are walking in and they're seeing the commotion and they actually chime in and say, yo, I don't know why he's in here. He's not supposed to be in here. And then I talk to the people that work at Gold's Gym and they don't really have anything to do. They just like, oh, we can file a report about it, incident report. What the fuck is going on? Like, listen, how can you say you're a woman or you want to be a woman and you don't care how women feel? That's nothing more manly than not giving a fuck about how women feel, I'd like to think. And I get it, like, everybody has their own things, and I don't want to say that I know everything about gay rights or trans rights. I'm a lesbian. I've been a lesbian my whole life. I treat people how I want to be treated regardless of whatever their sexual orientation is or whatever they decide. So I'm not transphobic, and I'm not homophobic. I'm not straightophobic. I'm not racist. None of these things. I just believe in treating people how I want to be treated. Why do you guys think it's okay for men to be in the women's restroom? And like, when is the cutoff point? Is it like, oh, you cut off your penis, you can come in here? Why aren't women making the laws? And if you really want to fucking be safe and feel good, why don't we just make trans restrooms? Because it ain't right.
It ain't right. And just so you know, the trans community is not a part of the lesbian, gay, and bi community. Shouldn't be. Been attached to it for far too long. And they have absolutely nothing to do with that community. except for causing trouble and giving everybody a bad name. How many other women have had the same experience and just kept quiet? Not to mention their Gold's Gym membership taken away from them. Take a few minutes and rewatch those videos. Back it up. Unbelievable. In the immortal words of Austin Powers, that's a man, baby. Take a look at this crap. What happened to my audio? What happened to my audio? Where'd it go? What the hell? Okay, that's weird. Is it going to work now? No. My audio died. Huh. All right, anyway, there's a picture of this woman, so-called, running around in the women's changing locker room at Gold's Gym. Freaking nightmare. And this, I wish you could have heard the audio for that. It was unbelievable. This man has absolutely no manners. And let me make it clear, this is a man. Instead, Gold's Gym decides to teach him that this kind of behavior isn't just tolerated, it's encouraged. So, ladies, the best advice I can offer you is simply just stay away from Gold's Gym. And remember these wise words from your friendly neighborhood vodka pundit, that would be me. Just because we're past peak woke doesn't mean the woke is over. It is still happening in living color right there at your Gold's Gym. Unbelievable. Let's take 60 seconds and tell you about one of our fantastic and absolute favorite partners on this show. The folks that are providing, or should be, your mobile phone service. That is Patriot Mobile, the only Christian conservative wireless provider in this country. I know there's others out there shouting and screaming, oh, you know, we're this, we're that. They're not. Patriot Mobile is the one company that truly upholds our conservative Christian values. Patriot Mobile.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever. Every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Oh, yeah. PatriotMobile.com/J is the link to get you signed up. And when you do, you will get a month free. Absolutely 1 month free on the house. You use our link, PatriotMobile.com/J. Give your money to a company that doesn't support DEI and all those left ideologies. Not a penny goes to any of those causes of their profits. And they support First and Second Amendment, the right to life. They support our military, our first responders. They're a fantastic American company, a conservative Christian company that we need to get behind. PatriotMobile.com/J. That is the address, the web address for you to check it out and get signed up today. I am trying to figure out what is wrong with our stream. And honestly, I do not know. I'm working hard. We're still there. We're still live. So we'll see what happens. If you can let me know in the chat what's going on your end as far as what you're seeing. Are we lagging? Are we freezing? Or are we okay? By the way, there is a way. If you look down in the little bottom part, you'll see a little gear wheel. And if you click that, you will see quality. Set it to automatic, because that way, depending upon how fast or slow our connection is, it will adjust itself to what quality that you're getting, and hopefully that will make it run smoother. Just a little technical thing that hopefully will ease things for you. All right. Where are we? The Democrats are about to experience the pain of the filibuster. Yep. We're now 34 days and change into the government shutdown, brought to you by the Democrats, of course. Rather than accept a clean, continuing resolution that would have funded the government until a new spending bill was passed, Democrats elected to use government employees' salaries, SNAP benefits, and victims of Obamacare as pawns to wring concessions for higher spending from the Republican Party. They've also decided, and you watch what happens in the next few days, they will reopen the government. You know why? Because the elections are over. And that is the only reason they were holding out, was they were afraid their voters weren't going to show up. So they kept it shut down. They kept all the screaming and yelling going so the Democrat voters would get pissed and go to the polls. Now that the elections are over, you watch how fast that government opens up. Schumer said it himself in a private meeting. It's been leaked. That's the only reason. The results of this shutdown is the Senate's filibuster rule. This requires a bill to have 60 votes in favor of bringing it to the floor for a final up or down vote. But very rarely does a parliamentary procedural tactic only cut one way. And this is one of those cases. When the government inevitably opens, the Democrats are going to discover the pain of the filibuster. Main negotiating point to end the shutdown, a guarantee by the obscene Obamacare subsidies that ballooned that program from 2020 to 2025 will receive a vote. That plan is in exchange for a promise by a future vote on the Obamacare subsidies. At least 8 Democrat senators will vote for the clean continuing resolution. Is that vote that will bring home the reality that using the filibuster as a tactical weapon ain't such a great idea? It's very unlikely the sombrero boys will be able to muster the votes to ram a humongous bloated spending bill through Congress. If this strategy, exchanging a shutdown vote for a vote on Obamacare subsidies, pans out, it'll give Congress an excellent opportunity to put this atrocious Obamacare program on a sustainable path. If not, hopefully, on the path to oblivion, which is the best idea I can imagine. They just will not stop. Seriously. They will not stop unless we stop them nonviolently. Walmart. I love this story. Walmart has a new way of dealing with shoplifters. There is a new rule when you get caught shoplifting at Walmart. Take a look at this. You get put in a cage. Yep. You get put in a cage right in the front of the store. I hope this sound works.
I cannot believe this. Walmart has a literal cage here locking people up for shoplifting. This is not okay.
Let me out.
Yes, it is.
Y'all can't keep me in here. I'm gonna sue every single one of you.
See what I mean?
Y'all, Walmart got people in a cage by the front door. They say if you get caught stealing, they hold you right here till police come. This is so wrong.
Oh, man, this is good. Look at that. Right there. Look at this one. This woman needs a salad bar. But she was shoplifting, and she got caught. So did this one. Where is she? Give me a good look at this criminal. There you go. So what do? Well, they wait for the police. They stick them in cages right in the front of the store. It just doesn't get any better than this. Thank you, Walmart. Man, short story, but what a great idea. Lock them up, stick them right up there where everybody can see them. And you know what? Here's the deal. If you go to a Walmart that has one of these and you see these criminals in the cages, make sure as you stroll your paid-for groceries or whatever you're buying past them, point at them and laugh. They're already embarrassed, so our job is to embarrass them even more. Okay? All right, you do that. Oh, man. This is good. This is very good. We're going to go across the pond for a story, but it has something to do with us here in the United States of America. And that is the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. Hardly a bastion of right-wing ideals. But it's been reported. You know what? It's written here that says it's been reported. Well, you know what? It hasn't been reported. It's an absolute fact because we have the receipts. We have the videotape. The BBC doctored Trump's January 6th speech in the worst way possible. An absolute, what ought to be, if it isn't legitimately a criminal offense, it ought to be. Well, they say Trump incited a riot, which he did not. This is insane. Take a look at these two clips, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Watch this. Wait a minute. What is going on with our sound? I'm going to try this way and see if it works. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me with this? Let me try this way.
Capital.
Okay, this way works. So let's do this. Let me back it up. Now watch this.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk.
Okay, so that's the way they edited it. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be with you, and we're going to fight. We're going to fight like hell. Trouble is, that's not what he said. Watch this which is the actual clip, the original clip. Listen.
Walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. We're going to walk down.
There you go. Look at the difference between those two clips. This is what I'm talking about. Now that's the BBC over in the UK. You think that stuff doesn't go on here? CBS? You already got sued and lost. Can Trump sue the BBC? It'd have to be some international court thing, I think. But he ought to. It's right there, plain as the nose on your face. Unfreaking believable. Absolutely insane. All right. Where else are we going? Since we're picking on the press, let's do it some more. The press is protecting evil, and it's way past time to wake up about it. A slaughter narrowly avoided on Halloween after the FBI disrupted the ISIS-linked terrorist attack that was planned in Dearborn, Michigan. We talked about it. We told you about this in previous shows. Multiple decades of a lack of any immigration or assimilation has turned a once working class, middle American town into what is literally the most Islamicized city in the U.S. Calls to prayer blare multiple times a day, 5 times a day, across the whole area where streets are named after outspoken supporters of Hezbollah and Hamas. Meanwhile, any dissent to the ever-growing radicalism is called Islamophobia. On Monday, Kash Patel announced the FBI had thwarted this Islamic terrorist attack, which was hatched in Dearborn, Michigan, a city that is just absolutely lost. So how did we get here? Where traditional American ideals are denigrated in the name of combating bigotry, so places like Dearborn can be basically turned into third world reincarnations of an Islamic government. Put it succinctly, the normalization of that has not been an accident, folks. You just have to look at the press response to the now thwarted attack to see the strategy they have at play. Criminal complaint detailing what Muhammad Ali and Majed Mahmoud were planning went public on Monday. Over the weekend, the news actually had broken. And how was it framed? Well, a whole bunch of news sources, including the Associated Press, CBS News, and CNN, chose to report the story of the FBI incompetence. Not based on viewing the evidence, but based on the claims of the activist lawyer and Dearborn residents crying about supposed Islamophobia. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but a lawyer is paid to defend his clients. And no news network should be using one as a sole source for their entire reports, claiming the government's malfeasance. Those stories were based exclusively on the lawyer for the Islamists. These were not just gamers, as the lawyer claimed. It should have been obvious to anybody from the very beginning. Of course, I would be doing you a disservice if I suggested it wasn't obvious to the press. Duh. They aren't stupid. They absolutely know what this was, but they chose to promote the falsehoods, the lies, because protecting Islam and the entire left-wing victim hierarchy is a lot more important to them than protecting innocent Americans. And that is plainly obvious. In the case of CNN, a full article written pushing the Islamophobia trope, and then later stealthily edited once the actual facts came out. Did it ever occur to these alleged journalists over at CNN that maybe the residents of an increasingly radicalized Muslim-dominated city might not be the best source for that story? I doubt it. Now keep this in mind. Those quoted in this piece had no inside information about what the FBI was doing in its operation. None. They were simply bystanders repeating talking points. But if protecting Islamism means slapping the Trump administration for daring to save lives, well, CNN is more than happy to follow that train. Now, some of this might seem a little trivial, but I don't think we should be underestimating the influence of these news outlets still hold. There are still people out there who watch this bullcrap, this absolute drivel, misinformation, propaganda crap. And what's happening in Dearborn is not an isolated incident, friends. Minneapolis, major American city, currently has a Somalia-first extremist as one of its leading candidates for mayor. New York City just got done electing a Democratic socialist as their mayor. Europe may be the most impacted country currently, but that's not the end game. It is time to wake up to what's happening. Pay attention. And unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to fight against the press as much as radical Islam itself. And let me just once again be clear, I am talking about radical Islam, not Islam as a religion. The fact that people continue to watch places like CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, they have to know. They have to know. Well, it looks like the smoking gun case, in the case against James Comey, his legal troubles just got a lot worse, and I could not be more pleased. Back in September, Comey, indicted on charges of making false statements and obstruction of justice, he claims he's the victim of malicious prosecution. Oh, sorry, Jimmy. Democrats out in full force claiming it's part of Trump's revenge. But newly filed evidence that Just the News obtained, John Solomon's site, fantastic site called Just the News, a little bit damning. Prosecutors have revealed what looks a lot like a smoking gun. Comey's own words, showing that he was not merely aware of his top aides were leaking to the press. He was actively congratulating them about it. Oh, yeah. An investigative journalist, John Solomon, explained on Real America's Voice, James Comey was clearly aware that his top aide was providing information anonymously to the news media. Not only was he aware of it, he wrote in a private email, "Good job, my friend," actually congratulating him. The aide in question, Dan Richman, one of Comey's closest confidants, same man who served his conduit to the New York Times during that infamous leaks that helped trigger the Mueller investigation. Remember that? Oh, yeah. For years, Comey's insisted, under oath, that he never authorized any of his staff to leak information to the media. But John Solomon, Just the News, revealed those emails and handwritten notes that tell a very different story. The leaked material at the center of that case relates to Hillary Clinton's email scandal, topic that Comey defenders have long claimed he handled with scrupulous neutrality. Bullshit. The evidence completely obliterates any of that. The former FBI director not only knew about the leaks, but he encouraged them. Precisely the opposite of what he told Congress. And even more damning are the handwritten notes recovered from what Solomon described as burn bags. You remember those discovered by Kash Patel and Dan Bongini in the FBI evidence room? Oh, yeah. Those notes go back as far as September 2016, and Comey was fully aware of an intelligence intercept showing that Hillary Clinton had approved a plan to hang a fake Russian shingle on Donald Trump's campaign house, end quote. When he testified before Congress, he claimed, Comey, "That doesn't sound familiar. I don't think I ever knew about that." Handwritten note betraying his lie. It is hard to overstate exactly how serious this is. Those notes there prove that Comey knew the Clinton campaign was manufacturing the Trump-Russia narrative, even as he allowed the FBI to pursue it. They knew. He knew. He wasn't duped by bad intelligence. He was a part of it. And that right there, these handwritten notes and emails, the absolute proof of that. You going down, Jim? Get ready for it, because it's happening. All your fancy lawyers ain't going to do nothing about that. Hey, you got travel plans coming up? I know people like to travel, of course, and it's a little early for the holiday season. We got a few weeks before Thanksgiving gets here and Christmas just a month behind. However, if you are traveling in the next week, you just might want to pay attention to Secretary Duffy's warning. Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, warning of mass chaos if the Democrat Party does not put an end to the Schumer shutdown. Now, as I said earlier in this show, now that they got the elections done, they scared their voters to get out and vote. Trust me, in the next few days, by the end of the week probably, they will reopen this government. Now they've got their mission accomplished of getting their voters out. You will see, this is according to Duffy, mass flight delays, mass cancellations, and you may even see closing part of the airspace because they can't manage it because they don't have the air traffic controllers. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt hammered the Democrats on this shutdown, the suffering they're causing the American people. Listen to this. Since the shutdown began, 5,000 flights delayed. 4 times as many staffing shortages. TSA waiting times through the roof. Some waiting 3 or 4 hours just to present their driver's license to an agent. Security wait times well over an hour. 13,000 controllers continue to work without pay. The Democrats, with every bit of intention, are hurting American families, the workers, business owners, with this ridiculous shutdown. Americans traveling to weddings, funerals, vacations, meetings, all facing significant delays and more disruptions and hassles at these airports because of staff shortages. Because people aren't getting paid. And if you don't get paid, you don't come to work. That makes sense, doesn't it? Sunday alone, more than 5,000 flights traveling to and from U.S. airports delayed. Like I says, probably a self-solving problem, because now the elections are over, the Democrats are going to reopen the government. But just know the reason they did that. They don't give a crap that you can't feed your family. They don't give a crap that you get delayed for 6 hours at the airport for no good reason. They don't give a crap about any of the inconveniences they caused you. All they give a shit about is getting out their voters for yesterday's election. Now that's been done. Now you watch how fast they move. All right. I saved the best for last. You know how I love the absurd. And this is probably about as absurd as it gets. However, I saved the very best for my last story. This is my second to last story. This mom, who seriously needs to be charged with child abuse and have her child taken away from her, is going to sue the veterinarian because he didn't treat her cat correctly. Yeah, he didn't treat her cat right. But that's not exactly the whole story. Her cat is her son. I know, but listen.
My son identifies as a cat, and recently I tried to take him to the vet because, it's flu season. There's a lot of stuff going around. He's been sick. So since he's a cat, I tried to take him to the vet, and they told me they could not treat him because they are not licensed to treat humans. And I said, well, he's not really a human. He's a cat. He identifies as a cat. And they're like, I understand, but biologically, he was born human, so we can't legally treat him here. Is that not discrimination?
No, it's not. It's called the law. And it's called medical malpractice if a veterinarian treats a person. Your son is not a cat, but you think that's whacked? Listen.
Do I not have a lawsuit on my hands? I've been advocating for my son for years. It took me 3 years of fighting to get his school system to allow me to put a litter box in his school's bathroom that he could use. And that's with me paying for the litter and going and changing it out myself every single day. And they threatened to kick my son out of school because he kept shitting his pants, and they said he needs to be potty trained before he can go to school here. I said he is litter box trained. He just doesn't like to use a toilet.
I can't. I cannot continue with this crap. Like I said, this mother needs to get charged with abuse, and she needs her children taken, his son, taken away from her. They put a freaking litter box in the bathroom at the school for her son, the cat, to use. There are no words. There simply are no words. Okay. I need something more, because I thought it was going to be funny, which it kind of is, but basically that just pissed me off. How many more of these abusive parents are out there encouraging this kind of bullshit behavior? All right, so here we go. You ready? A Chinese tourist has been caught in Kenya with, you can tell it's going to be good, right? With over 500 animal penises in his luggage. I am not going to get through this story. 37-year-old Ming Zhang Wei, arrested this morning at the Jomo Kenyatta Airport in Nairobi while carrying 2 suitcases full of animal penises. The genital organs, only because I don't want to keep saying penises, come from a variety of animals. 309 of them are from zebras, 46 from baboons, 21 from buffaloes, 27 from giraffes. How would you get from a giraffe? 14 from lions. Even same question, bigger answer. And 21 from pink flamingos. Oh, yeah. Kenya Police Commissioner Matthew Rear commented the case on this morning, saying there were more arrests that could take place over the next few days. We know that local poachers provide the Chinese black market with body parts from African wildlife. And a criminal network may very well have smuggled over 50,000 organs over the last few years. Organs from wildlife animals, and not just penises, around the world tend to meet a high demand in China. Traditional medicine uses them quite often to cure aches and diseases and pains. Not that you need one, but I'm going to give you an example. Zebra penises, often dried, powdered, and drank like a tea, which supposedly cures impotency and increases the size of men's genital organs. Yeah, that's what they believe. Several animals like white and black rhinos, African elephants, Siberian tigers, even North American black bears, victims of poachers in recent years, despite efforts to counter this phenomenon. Most experts believe that poaching will probably increase by more than 200% in the next 10 years, especially in Africa. That's got to stop. More than 500 animal penises, there I said it one last time, in this guy's luggage. Apparently, the police at the airport were very upset because their sniffer dog failed to recognize and hit on the luggage that had all the genitals in it. Honestly, I can't blame the sniffer dog. It's like, I ain't going near that. You gotta be kidding me. I like my junk. I want to keep it. That was what the sniffer dog would have said. Okay, I think we've done enough damage for one day. You agree? I got to get out of here. Thank you, my friends. Be sure and hit the follow button. All the stuff I usually say, like, follow, subscribe. Whether you're listening on the podcast, you're watching on the live show, or the VOD later on. Also, our YouTube channel. Check us out over there. We're not live there. We never will be. We hate YouTube. But we do put our show up there in a delayed replay. It'll be up there within an hour, perhaps the next day. You can see it. Subscribe over on our YouTube channel, The Jay Sheldon Show. Just search it out. It's easy to find. I'm done. I'm out of here. We'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday edition of this ridiculous program, and we'll see you then. Enjoy your Wednesday.